Hello, Assalamualaikum girls. Before we begin, I'd like to apologize. These are the 6 types of voices that I should have introduced to you before we begin any milestone activity. For those who have actually went through the slides, you can find it here at the let's begin, the very first page that you went through. If you actually went through the slides of the 6 types of voices that we should be using throughout our project, then good for you. You don't have to actually watch this video until the end. If not, then please do bear with me. I'll just briefly go through all the 6 types of voices we should explore and use as we do our activities and milestones. Okay, for those who have completed milestone 1 and 2, good for you, good job. For those who haven't, try to catch up. You still need to complete all activities and milestones in order to complete this project successfully and get your certificate, okay? For those who are done with milestone 1 and 2, remember, you can go ahead. You don't have to wait for me to post the video guide for milestones 3, 4 and 5. You can actually go ahead and complete it without me, okay? So let's go into the 6 types of voices that we should be using throughout the project. So as you can see here at my screen, we have Swara Reflexy, Identity, Pemimpin, Leadership, Empathy, Harapan, Hope, Innovation, and Creativity. Okay, so let's explore. Oh, there's one more voice here on the right, the 7th one, which is Swara Puitis. Okay, so let's look at Swara Reflexy. It's in Malay. I can translate a little bit into English. Proses merenung, menganalisis, mencari alasan, cadangan dan tindakan berdasarkan sesuatu kejadian yang terjadi atau bacaan yang dibuat. So basically, you reflect on something, you analyse it, you try to find reasons, proposals, things and actions that you can do based on something that happened or something that you've read, okay? So Swara Reflexy, you should use this to be able to tell a message about a situation, what has happened, an incident, or based on something you've read or watched, bacaan, tontonan, or an idea that will help you to understand something more deeply about what is happening. So Swara Reflexy is more on personal reflection. Remember girls, I've been telling you that when you complete the activities and milestones, don't focus on getting it 100% factual accuracy. Of course, for like scientific facts, of course you need to get it right. But if you're using Swara Reflexy or reflection voice in your activity, it's all on your personal opinion and it doesn't have to be right or wrong. It can be, I feel scared of COVID-19, I feel afraid, I don't really want to know much about COVID-19 because it makes me scared. And it's fine to express your opinion. So that is under Swara Reflexy, okay? There are no wrong or right reflection voices, okay? So Swara Reflexy boleh dicungkilkan dengan menjawab perkara di bawah. So whenever you're using Swara Reflexy, you can use these points to guide you in your thoughts and to actually share your opinions better, okay? So if you see here, apakah yang anda lihat? What do you see? What do you understand? What do you feel? What crosses your mind when you read about something, when you watch something? What attracts your attention? And what questions would come into play or come into mind when you are reading something, when you watch something on the news? You're like, why is this happening? What happened? So those thoughts that you have are actually Swara Reflexy, okay? So does this change whenever you're watching or reading something? Does this change the way you think? Do you agree with it or you disagree with what? Because you know already something, like for example, remember you did the fake news versus the real news. So, and then can you actually relate back to your own experience, okay? So when you're having all these thoughts in your mind, you're actually using a reflective voice or Swara Reflexy, okay? So this is one of the 7 voices that we should be using in our project. So you can actually explore more on these questions, and then this is all under Swara Reflexy. Okay, next, whenever you're doing the activities, some activities might ask you to use the Swara Empathy, so empathetic voice. So what is Swara Empathy? Daya menyelami dan memahami perasaan atau emosi orang lain, baik suka ataupun duka. So how, let's see more in detail. Swara Empathy adalah suara seseorang. Okay, I'll explain this in English. So empathy is actually basically understanding the feeling and emotions of other people. Basically you're putting yourself in other people's shoes. So whenever you see, the poor, the homeless, sympathy is like, oh, I feel sad for them. I feel sorry for them that they are in the streets, they don't have a home. I'm gonna try to help, I'll buy food. But empathy, meaning you imagine that you're actually in that person's shoe. Or I'm imagining myself that I don't have a home. I imagine myself sleeping in the streets, without a house, without proper food. I don't know where my next meal is going to come from. Am I going to be able to eat the next day? Let's say if you have your siblings with you, we are all homeless. Empathy means you're actually imagining yourself in their shoes, not only sympathizing with them, but you're imagining that you're in their shoes and how would you feel if you're in their shoes. Okay, so back to Swara empathy here. The definition is, you use it when you try to understand someone's situation and especially their feeling. Empathy is important so that we don't rush into jumping to conclusions, especially in like taking action on somebody's situation. Okay, empathy also helps us to maintain respect on other people, for other people, and we understand their situation. Not only just understand and sympathize, but we understand how they feel. So when you understand how you feel, you're actually promoting unity and peace in the society, because you don't jump to conclusions. You don't fight with this example, the homeless people. You're like, why don't you find work, why don't you find a job? You're being very irresponsible, especially if you have children, young children. How can you let them sleep in the streets? So when you have an empathetic voice or mindset, you actually understand how they feel, that and you understand that, okay, it's not as easy as ABC for them to get a job. Okay, so empathy could be used by using these guides. So how does someone feel when they are in a certain situation? Look at how they speak, look at how they act. How do you feel? How would you feel if you're in the same situation? So what makes you impressed with those that actually shows empathy? What questions would come to play? Okay, so why is somebody going through a certain situation? For example, why are they homeless, and what do they do when they're going through that emotion? Okay, so empathetic voice. Alright, second voice was empathetic voice. So third one is Swara identity. So is identity sifat-sifat yang ada pada sesuatu sebagai memperkena atau membezakan daripada orang lain. So what is your identity? Okay, Swara identity, you should use this based on your experience, your gender, we're all girls, your age, passion or interest, your culture, and where you came from. Everyone has their own identity, and sometimes it might be different, and they have certain strengths and weaknesses based on everyone is different. Okay, so identity menyampaikan pandangan anda berdasarkan identity yang anda pegang tanpa menjatuhkan identity orang lain. So whenever you're sharing your personal identity, you're still being respectful and maintain that respect for other people who have other identities. Okay, so you can express this for identity using these points. What strengths or passion or interest that you have, and what is your peranan, what is your role in this situation? Okay, and how can you and your family provide solutions or play a part in solving the problem at hand? Okay, that is Swara identity. Okay, next one, fourth one is Swara harapan or hope. Keinginan untuk perkara tertentu yang berlaku, seperti kepercayaan bahawa perubahan kepada sesuatu yang lebih baik akan berlaku. So you hope that something better would happen, that you always have a hope that, okay, change would happen, so the problem would definitely be solved. So Swara harapan, you should use this when something is very difficult. You use Swara harapan so that something difficult will become easier for you to face and go through, because you believe that that a change will happen. You hope that something will get better. Okay, so hope can actually give you a motivation to go through life and also change your life to be better. Okay, so you can use these guides to use Swara harapan. So what makes you feel grateful? What action can you do to actually make things better? What is the meaning of challenge to us, or what is challenging to us, and then what can you think of, like sometimes you question, why is this happening to me, why is it not happening to me, why am I not lucky enough as my friend? So all these things you should have in thought in order to give yourself hope. Okay, all right, so how can we maintain this hope, and how can we increase your confidence that something better would happen? Okay, alright, so the A is suara harapan. Oh, suara pemimpin just came out right through. So leadership. So suara pemimpin, I'll just go right into it. It can actually give you hope and inspiration to change, to make sure a positive change happens. This message should be given through vision and a very clear hope. Suara pemimpin juga mampu untuk menggambarkan kejayaan bersama. So as a leader, you should be able to actually give other people the hope and the vision that, okay, we are definitely going to achieve something. We are actually going to make a change, and we are going to succeed together. That is the difference between suara pemimpin and suara harapan just now. Okay, so you can use these two boxes below. What is the nilai-nilai yang anda ingin? Okay, what do you want to actually let other people think of? What are the values that to think of? Okay, what is the problem at hand? What is the pro and cons of the situation that we are facing? So you as a leader, you're actually be able to tell all these things to the people who are under you or who you are guiding. Okay, so what are the facts and information that will help to make other people convinced that, okay, a change is going to happen? So what is the best action for all that you can do with your friends, your family? Okay, so suara pemimpin, you as a leader, you start the change, you make the change. You don't just give false hope to everyone else, but you actually plan and actually take action. Okay, so that is suara pemimpin. Okay, let's move on. Suara inovasi and kreatif, basically suara yang datang dari imaginasi, and you use your imagination now to find a solution and new ideas to make life better. Okay, so suara ini adalah hasil daripada pemahaman tentang isu yang ingin diselesaikan. So you understand the issue at hand and apply your imagination to create something new. So suara, no identity, there's a typo there. Inovasi and creativity. So what is the problem at hand? What are the options and choices that you can do to solve by considering what you have, or what resources you have around you, and what is lacking around you? What research can be added, and what facts and information can support your solution? So you're being very creative to solve the problem. For example, you have been doing activities 1B and 2Cs, right? So the posters, some of you are doing videos, some are you already posted on social media, some of you just use your hands and actually draw the posters. So you're being very creative. You're using suara inovasi and creative to create something new to give the same message. So like identify fake news from truth. So how do you make the announcement interesting? So you're actually already using this suara inovasi and creative. Okay, alright, last one, suara puitis. Suatu yang abstrak yang dan boleh diluahkan dalam pelbagai bentuk kreatif. Okay, I'll translate this to English. So poetic, basically poetic voice is a way of luahan transformasi, a way of expressing transformation through the previous 6 voices that we have discussed, and making it more interesting and more meaningful. So instead of doing, posters and drawings, you're going to do it like metaphorical. You can do more interesting drawing like a comic. In a poem, you can actually create a song and a music video, and anything else that has their own rhythm, their own emotions, using the sounds and the situations around you to actually tell people your experience and a different perspective. Okay, so basically be very, very, very creative. Suara puitis. Okay, so what are the methods then can give impact to this to this voice, and what picture would appear in your mind when you use this voice? Okay, so for example here, this is what you can use, girls, in your future activities to express your reflection, your innovation, your creativity, your leadership, suara pemimpin, and your hope. So you can actually draw. If you're very good at drawing, girls, do it, use it. You can actually draw very, very nice pictures in this project, and don't be shy, because you can actually be featured in the World Children's Day. They're going to actually share it on World Children's Day. Okay, if you're good in editing videos, go ahead, make videos. If you want to combine drawing and making it into a video, go ahead. You want to do animation, teacher, I'm good at acting, you can actually record yourself acting with your friends instead of just writing it down in an essay. If you're good at photography, teacher, I want to express my messages in terms of pictures. Okay, go ahead, take pictures, use your your smartphone, your DSLR. Or if you're good at writing songs, poems, sajak, you can actually do that. Or teacher, I'm actually good at making 3D models to actually express my opinions or express my leadership skills. Go ahead. So you girls, it is not limited to only these these 5 points. You can actually do other than this. Okay, anything that works for you, very interesting. And then when people actually look or watch at your videos, read your comics, read your artwork, basically you're expressing it under Swara Poetis, and people will get the message when they look at your artwork. Okay, so those are the those are the 7 voices that I apologize again, I was supposed to introduce to you before you start the project. If you have gone through these slides, good for you. If not, starting from now, please use all these 7 voices to make your reflection and answers better. Okay, and especially when you have to make a certain project or reflection. Okay, all right, thank you very much, girls. I will continue on with the guide for milestone 3. Thank you.